Thank you for listening and welcome to the Life Radio Show, a once proud member of the now defunct Eventide Entertainment Podcast Network. I'm your host, Don Smith. It's the high-energy Holly Shock in the co-host seat, which is great to counteract the low-energy Dan Andrick. Adrian Miller also joins in the fun to talk some D&D. If you enjoy the show, like and follow the Life 1069 on Facebook and Don Smith Comedy on Twitter, or tune in live on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM, or you can stream the show live at WWSU1069.org.
The brutal presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence.
All right, hey, it's that time of the week again. It's time for the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith.
Yay, Don Smith.
Apparently, Holly Shock is here as guest co-host.
Yay, apparently Holly Shock. Yay.
Yep. Patrick, you may want to adjust those levels a little bit because it's Holly.
It's the holiday season. It's Holly. That was pretty good. I got a doppelganger green over there.
Both of our guests are already here.
I know, it's like stereo.
Yeah, Dan Andrick finally found the place.
Yes,
he was running around. He was running around the Nutter Center.
Yep.
It's okay. I'm usually lost anyway.
It's okay. Well, we figure you're here and you're still lost. So
exactly.
You made it. But hey, you look cool as hell in those shades over there.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, you
gas
got
station special, baby.
Yeah, perfect. Adrian Miller is back for the first time in quite some time. Back
right.
on the radio and back on the stage doing comedy a couple times.
Yeah.
Good to see you again.
It's really good to be back.
So who do we want to start with? I guess we'll start with Dan. You got your glasses off. Are you awake now?
I just woke up, man.
Are the shrooms starting to wear off? Or?
No. The bourbon's
not
kicking
you, Holly.
in.
I know that's permanent.
And I'm permanent, a perennial. Yes. Sorry.
I won the light up LED bananas, by the way.
I know.
I'm so excited about that.
There's medicine for that, you know.
Yeah. When it lights up like that, that's an infection. You really need some penicillin or something.
Yeah.
So Dan,
yes,
what do you know about penicillin?
Surprisingly, it's valuable on the black market.
Pittsburgh,
penicillin.
Yeah, it's true. Philadelphia, penicillin. Yeah, there's all kinds of cities in Pennsylvania.
That's easy for you to say.
Yeah, I think that most modern cities have penicillin now, Don.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It
spreads. Well, you're trying to keep it from spreading, actually.
I like how you say that, like. You know, like we can see, like it's so factual. Like, oh, but now I know it is.
Butch is back. All right. Try Dan, Butch. He might.
What?
He might need a sugarless daddy. You need a sugar daddy or a sugarless daddy?
In the case
it's
of
funny,
Butch
Russell.
I was thinking about getting a Grindr account, honestly.
Okay, well there you go.
Look, I'm looking at retirement.
This is a Facebook Live grinder right there, and you got Butch is hitting you up there. So,
okay, fantastic.
All right,
he got money.
Well, no, he's sugarless. See, that's why he's got nothing. I mean, not even jokes. I mean, have you ever seen him?
That's kind of expensive, though. You got to get the organ thing and then the monkey.
Ooh. Wait a minit. Are they dancing or are you making a soup?
Yeah. Oh. Yep, go to organgrinder.com. That's probably what it really is anyway, I think.
God, I must be afraid to put that in there. How do you like my little monkey?
So, Dan.
Yes?
How's it going? What's been happening with you? Have you been on the show before?
I was on the show several months ago.
Okay, it was very memorable.
From the... Yeah, like most of my first year in comedy, it's been completely unremarkable.
Yes. Hold on, I'm hearing myself.
No, we hear you too, Don. You're actually talking out loud.
Okay. Oh, okay. That's weird. Okay, so how long have you been doing stand-up comedy?
This month's my first year.
Oh, this is your first year?
Congratulations.
And funny fact is, Holly Shock over here brought me up on stage my first time at Wiley's.
You
popped
it. You popped it.
You were closed that night.
Right.
Come on down.
Right.
Don't worry, you left early. You didn't have to watch.
I wouldn't have.
Yeah, that was really neat. Wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, because I don't really like to watch, actually.
No.
It's just
better with your eyes
it's a little
closed.
creepy, yeah.
Kooky, mysterious.
What's that?
Kooky, mysterious, and spooky, along with that creepy. Yeah.
All right.
now we know what she smoked before she came in.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it's not the normal stuff either.
Yeah,
There's something laced.
I agree.
There's something laced with something there.
Yeah.
But that's why we love Holly, because it just brings the energy up, and that's why I had her on opposite you.
Exactly.
Because you're sitting back there like you're way too cool to be here. I'm glad you at least took the shades off.
Look.
What do you really think, Don?
Yeah.
It's been that kind of day, Patrick.
You don't think it makes you look like I have bug eyes, do you? I mean, like it's a big fly.
A little bit. Yeah,
I mean, it
a
does
little
look
bit.
like someone I want to swat.
Is that cool? I like to swat you, baby.
I mean, same diff.
Yeah, that's a tough crowd in here now.
You want to switch chairs?
Well, I think after I said that, I think he'd prefer a body between.
Yeah, I think
I'm going to
that's.
just put these right back down.
Some people pay good money for swatting.
So, what made you decide to start stand-up comedy a year ago, and then stick with it for so long?
Well, usually the same reasons everybody does. I was going through a lot of tough times in my life, and my life kind of fell out for me at one point in time. And I'm like, am I closer? Am I better now?
Don't be scared of the mic.
Sorry.
Yeah,
it is
there's
a little
no audience
intimidating.
to throw things at you. I mean, I might pelt a banana in a minute.
Yeah, let's
Except
No, I won't.
Don's
keep your banana
It's
to
made of
yourself.
porcelain. I don't want to
slinging
break.
his banana
They're-
around again. Jesus.
Do you have a hammock for him yet?
Oh, not yet.
Okay. Banana hammock? No, okay.
Oh, can you have one set up in the corner and just have that every time a guest comes in?
Yeah.
Be like,
Yeah,
don't mind
want-
my banana
yeah,
hammock.
yeah. Check out the banana hammock.
It might be sure to duck before you
Well,
go
I got
through the
Patrick's
door.
banana. He gave his balls to somebody else.
That would be uncircumcised, a banana hammock, I think. Whoa.
Whoa.
Did you grow up? Yeah, never mind. Pass.
Yeah.
Woo.
So yeah, I
I
don't.
thought my drugs were good.
We all thought your drugs were pretty good.
Thank you.
Yeah,
That's-
they are. I'm just,
and we appreciate you sharing. Wait, your
Well,
name's not
see y'all
Sharon.
later.
Your name's not Sharon. Okay,
Maybe
Dan, where were we? We got somehow off track.
yeah,
It's
that-
so weird. It never happens.
yeah, I can't see with this group how that would happen. Idle conversation seems to be our mortal enemy.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, like most people, when you're horribly depressed and miserable in life, you're like, well, what can I do to make myself feel better? I'm like, I'll go tell jokes to strangers and put myself up on stage for public humiliation.
Right.
And
so
I
you
was
can
like,
feel
yeah.
that much worse.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, I did that first show, and it was like the first time in my life I actually felt free. It was very odd to me. I felt comfortable and free because it was just me up there, and it didn't matter what happened. It was just going to be me, and I was just going to be me, and that's what I did. And I got off stage, and when people clapped and laughed at me, I was like, wow, I'm not a piece of poo-poo. And that's why I just kept doing it. It makes me feel better every time I see somebody laugh at a show that I do. It's the only reason.
That's right.
Yeah.
Very good.
It's good to get that now and then.
Yeah, I mean, it happened once or twice. Too,
Right.
for me, so. In a year.
In a year, yeah, once or twice in a year. That's pretty good for your first year.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've
There's
done
been a lot worse out there. I know people have been doing it for 4 or 5 years that they don't get a laugh.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
there's
What? That was that. Now who's throwing shade, Patrick? You don't even have a microphone. That's why we took it.
Give him a megaphone.
just talk
Adrian?
louder.
Yes.
What's been happening with you?
What's been happening with me? I've been getting to know my couch collection very well. Weighted
Your couch
blankets.
collection?
Yeah.
Like all
well, I mean,
how many couches are in your collection?
Well, there's an ottoman.
Okay.
'Cause I'm
okay.
fancy, and there's a hand-me-down, like, what do we call it? A single chair.
A chair.
A chair. but it's upholstered. I don't know, whatever that is.
Like an easy chair.
We just end up throwing stuff on that one. I mean, really, it's the couch.
So you just
I just
have
try to
that
make it
to
fancy
stack
for
your
you
stuff
guys.
on, and
yeah, it's one couch. It is a love seat actually, or it's two, just a 2-seater.
Oh, okay.
So you can't even like lay down. You know what I mean?
You can. It's just very uncomfortable.
It's
then you
kind
got your
of
legs
yeah.
Up. Yeah.
It's really you fall asleep and then you wake up like a pretzel and you're just hurt all over.
Is that, or you stick your legs up on you, just like you're at the gynecologist?
Yes, exactly. It's very awkward. It's a very awkward time on the couch.
Can I just jump in and ask how many times Don's had to go to the gynecologist?
Did
anyone else miss that?
That is none of your business, man. I just got my banana today.
Instead of lollipops, they give you LED bananas.
I go to a very special OBGYN.
Oh my god!
I've been doing a lot of D&D. That's what I've been doing. Working on editing something, and also just playing D&D, being a dungeon master. Don't get too excited. The Dungeons and Dragons kind, the dice rolling kind,
I was picturing something else.
So I guess killing people as a hobby. Watching a lot of Mindhunter as well for inspo, I guess, on that score. That's what I've been up to.
Okay. And how did the Dungeon Master thing come about? How did that?
Well, it's the kind of thing like, it's just like drugs. A friend tells you to, hey, why don't we hang out sometime? And then they bring out the dice, and you're like, what's going on? What's this? And then they're like, it's this thing. It's D&D. You want to feel cool, so you're like, oh yeah, that D&D.
Yeah, I do that.
And then they're
all
like,
the time.
here's it. Roll this, and you're like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
And that's
well,
how,
you always got to roll it first.
And then you can't stop. That's the thing. You have that one hit, and you're like, I got to get in on this, and you got to get in that multi-level marketing scheme of it, and you got to try it yourself. Next thing you know, you're dealing.
Absolutely.
You're also dealing dice now to other people and getting them in the game.
Yeah, I tried it once. It wasn't for me. They didn't even want me back.
Everyone's had an experience like that where they were just like, get out.
Like, yeah, we don't want you here again. This is your one time, and you're done.
I remember the story you told. You were 14, though, right?
I think I was like 14 or 15.
But here's a detail you're leaving out. You were 14, and now flashback to what everyone was like as a 14-year-old. And they were all adults. They were grown-ass adults. So imagine an obnoxious 14-year-old just airdropped into a bunch of serious adults who've probably been playing this for over 10 years.
Oh yeah. They were in full costume and
you didn't bring a costume, so immediately you're on the wrong foot. They're like, "Where's your cape?"
The only thing I had was my banana hammock, and they
they were like,
they said, "Nope, you're done."
They're like, "You can play a barbarian class in that banana hammock, okay?" They do get a good bonus to their unarmored. And you're like, "No, I'm playing
14,
a bard."
so it was more like a Hanna Barbarian. I'm going to try to find a way to just name this episode.
Killing as a hobby is pretty good.
That is. Is that tied in with the D&D, or is that something different entirely?
There are rumors, unsubstantiated. I have been acquitted a number of times in other states. That's how I came to Ohio, but we won't get into that right now.
We're glad you were acquitted.
I try to, I try to keep it now, just a hobby, not a profession.
Right. Well, yeah. There's not a lot of money in it, I don't think. I mean, because it's an expensive hobby, because you got to clean a lot.
Yes.
You got to get all those.
People
clean
don't realize how much the cleaning supplies.
Exactly.
It's murder.
Bravo.
It just kills your budget right off.
It does. Gosh.
Dan, how's your murdering going?
The better ones don't talk about it. Okay.
Understandable.
Just again, we got to keep Holly between us and the buffer.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know if you want that.
Holly, do you feel safe over there, or are you?
Well, I have the Motel Hell approach to the whole thing.
Oh my God,
yes.
I love that
Just
movie.
the backyard,
the murder
Such
hotel
a good
approach.
movie.
Yeah, Motel.
Now that's the one where they were
I
buried
say
up
that
to
so
their.
emphatically. Such a good movie.
That's
a
the one where they
formative
buried
film
them
of
in
my
the garden
childhood.
out there, like
Yeah,
up to
me
their
too.
neck. And, yeah.
I'm glad you liked the picture I put on the FB page for that.
Oh yeah, with Reggie. Yeah. That was
I actually
that
took that off my
cracked
TV.
me up.
Yeah,
6 Feet Below Hell still out in Redbox, actually getting ready to be released. I believe it's going to be called Running from the Dead or something when they do the re-release of 6 Feet Below Hell. So you'll get to see Reggie again.
Oh, great!
Yeah.
I mean, I can actually buy it.
Hopefully, they do a sequel.
Oh,
I believe so. I believe there are a bunch getting ready to be re-released from William Lee. Plus, Kill Mamba Kill's getting ready to come out.
Oh, that's
a lot
fun.
of other things. A lot of other things.
That's really cool. No, I really enjoyed that movie.
Yeah, and we're trying to do a Kickstarter for Smith and Wesson now, which is
Yeah,
going to be
I love that name.
William Lee and the Hammer, Fred Williamson,
Oh,
who was he was nicknamed the Hammer. He was in the NFL back in the
I was
day.
thinking of Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Yeah.
I was like, Hammer Films? What? Hammer horror?
I went with MC Hammer, so
Okay,
so
well,
yeah, I guess we're all off
He
here.
could probably use a Kickstarter. I think he's pretty
yeah.
much broke.
It's like, is that what he's doing now?
Yeah,
That's
Hammer
what
Films.
he's doing. He's
Hammer
just doing
Films.
Kickstarters to try to make
He's doing
movies.
Kickstarters for horror films.
MC Hammer Films, yes.
So what have you been up to, Holly?
Oh, not much. Mostly being sick as a dog the last 3 weeks, but I'm okay now thanks to the real medication and stuff like that. And so that's about it.
What's the real medication? Can we talk about that?
I'm on steroids, so, which is pretty cool, you know.
You look like a juicer.
What do you mean by? Oh, wait a minute.
You mean like the Jack LaLanne juicer? Is that what you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay,
we'll make
perfect,
it Jack
perfect.
LaLanne. I was going more Fight Club and Bob.
Oh, okay.
Bob from Fight Club. Yeah.
Yeah, the juice is loose.
Yeah.
Yeah, chase me down the highway at 35 miles an hour in my car. Wrong juice. I'm sorry, but no, I've been.
I got to get that. That's going to be. I'm going to put that on a loop at the.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those steam-powered vibrators. Steam-powered vibrators. Back in the medieval days.
Steam-powered vibrators. Seems like a hot item.
Now, that would be something to take to a steampunk convention. Come as an inventor and have a giant multiple with gears going...
Well, I mean,
Gears and wood in a vibrator. I like this.
Yeah,
Gears and wood.
I'm picturing
Totally
just like,
safe,
like an
totally
egg beater or something, just a dildo.
What's your
There you go.
gynecologist say, Don?
Double dildo, really.
What's your gynecologist say about that?
D&D, double dildo. We're doing the double dildo.
We're doing the double dildo. Could be could be a good episode title too.
Yeah. Well, I got double D's here, right here, baby. I just hate them.
Sorry, I'm putting that down. Doing the double dildo. That's
Let's see Dick Clark play that on American Bandstand.
Hey, kids.
Wow.
Celery?
See things?
Kumquat?
Ketchup.
Cadaver?
Is it ketchup? Cadaver?
See,
Cadaver? You
unfortunately.
say cadaver, I say
Well,
cadaver.
it's a medical term, so I believe you can.
Let's see if we can
Clark-
dig one up
Yeah.
for you.
Well, you
go
don't
dig
even have
one
a
up.
microphone, so it doesn't matter.
Oh, anyway, I did Live Last a couple weeks ago, and that was kind of fun. And there's some stuff coming up, and I'll be at Wiley's on Sunday. That'll be fun. Joe Young.
You're up this Sunday?
Yeah,
I'm
Joe.
up this
Yeah, you're on
Sunday.
too.
Yeah.
And Joe Young's the headliner, and I guess the name of the host is Anonymous. Anonymous. They don't know who the host
Ooh,
is.
I
yet.
love her.
Hopefully that's
Yeah,
nothing like
anonymous.
that one guy.
She's always surprising you.
Yeah, it's Anonymous.
Always-
That's another dig at Butch. I love
Ooh.
I love when Butch listens in.
She's so
Oh.
mysterious. She's
Yeah,
an
she's
enigma.
Yeah. I'll hear that out there. Well, they got, we
some
were on
kind of
TV.
magic.
We should do all sign language.
Yes.
Yeah,
Moves
yeah.
on
For the radio
Then just
show.
dead
And
air on
then-
the radio
Can the
portion.
FCC get you for
Yeah.
that?
And I'll still put it out in a
On the-
for silence. Yeah, they can do that.
I think as
That's
long
like
as you do your
play
call
something.
sign every 30 minutes, whatever it is, right? I
Well,
don't remember.
you still have
Hour?
to have
It's an
something
hour?
broadcast. It's
been a long time.
Unless you specifically say it's a moment of silence.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I think people just be confused. They'll be like,
Yeah, what's wrong with my radio?
what?
That might be fun. That'd be like a what's his name? I can't think.
There you go.
Helen Keller.
Yeah, that's Helen. Exactly. That's
Way to feel your way through that joke.
I'm sorry, Lord. Maybe. I don't know. Where
I was thinking of Andy Kaufman. That's what.
Oh, Andy Kaufman,
yeah,
yeah.
that would
Love
be.
Andy
Or
Kaufman.
Helen
That would be
Keller.
a
Same.
classic.
It's
Helen
real
Keller,
close.
Andy
That's
Kaufman, you know.
That's it.
That's the power
a
duo
toss-up,
there.
man.
That'd be an amazing double bill.
Yeah. Together again.
All right, we're going to have to go ahead.
Never
and,
see it coming.
All right, thank you.
He's the magic act just before him. The amazing double dildo.
I love the theme music. That's the theme music
Yeah.
for the magic double dildo. All right, we're going to have to go ahead and hit the comedy rundown and take a little break here. But first, here's this week's comedy rundown brought to you by the legendary Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's historic Oregon District. Call 224-JOKE or go to wileyscomedy.com for all the best in Dayton comedy. Tuesday, September 3rd, tonight, open mic at Peach's Grill at 104 Xenia Avenue in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 8 p.m. Wednesday, September 4th, open mic at Mila's Suburban Cafe at 606 Taywood Road in Englewood. That show starts at 7 p.m. There's also an open mic at the South Park Tavern at 1301 Wayne Avenue. That show starts at 9 p.m. And also on Wednesday, the Vibe Sessions Comedy Night at Hannah's at 121 North Ludlow Street in Dayton. That show starts at 9 p.m. Thursday, September 5th, open mic at the Spirited Goat at 118 Dayton Street in Yellow Springs. That show starts at 7 p.m. There's also an open mic at the Barrel House at 417 East 3rd Street from 8:30 to 11, and an open mic at the Hookah Bazaar at 958 Patterson Road. That show starts at 10 p.m. Sign-ups are at 9:30 if you want stage time. Friday and Saturday, September 6th and 7th, Nathan Orton is going to be at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Friday through Sunday, September 6th through the 8th, Pat McGann is going to be at the Dayton Funny Bone at 88 Plum Street at the Green. And Sunday, September 8th, Wiley's Sunday Comics is back at Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in the Oregon District. Joe Young is closing that show out. You can get out there and see Holly on the show. You can see me on the show.
Yay.
And I think there's supposed to be a whole bunch of new first-timers
Yeah,
going
that's
up.
going to be
which
fun.
That should
That
be
always is good.
Oh,
should
yeah.
be a lovely little
Yep.
train wreck.
Might be some, road dump. What do they call those things again? On the
Road
Oh,
cones?
yeah,
Road
yeah,
cones.
traffic cones.
Traffic
We've
cones.
seen traffic old Action Jackson. We've seen some traffic cones up there. We've seen
Yeah,
some
I've been blessed
different things up there.
introducing him.
Yep. Were you around? Were you around for Puke when Puke was on stage?
No,
up
but
there?
I've heard the legend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the legend
The
of Puke.
The legend of you.
Is that the one that fell off the
Yes,
stage?
that's the one
Yeah,
that,
I've
that
heard this
fell
legend
off the
as
front of the
well.
stage. He was. I think that was his second time there. His
Yeah,
first time there was just as bad. We wish he would have fallen off the stage that time. But I've actually fallen off the stage at Wiley's. It's okay, but mine was planned.
Well,
All right, well, that is it. As always, check out wileyscomedy.com and DaytonFunnyBone.com for details and tickets to upcoming shows. And there's also an open mic on Mondays to check out at 7 p.m. at the Barrel at 857 West Central Street in Springboro. And we're going to, let's see, who are we going to play on the break? Since I'm pushing St. Mary St. Michael's new album, Another Anodyne, here's one of my favorite songs off of that one called Mr. Gray. We'll be back here shortly. Patrick?
Never been the one to let people in. My heart was never on my sleeve, never on my sleeve. It's easy to fight my demons on my own. But here you come with your serpent tongue. You tell me this is who I am, this is who I am, and maybe I should give in, let it go. You promised me you'd be my anodyne. You promised me you'd be my anodyne. That I spend with you, your words are cutting deeper still, even deeper still. I hate it, but I can't seem to find my peace. And so I breathe you in like a cigarette. With every breath you're killing me, slowly killing me. But damn it, if you don't taste so sweet. You were supposed to be my anodyne. You were supposed to be my anodyne. Like some modern Mr. Grey, the more I feed into your image, the more I quickly fade away. And I don't mind this hell I've crawled to. At least it's something that I know. But I can't help but feel there's more for me. If you just let me go. You were supposed to be my anodyne. Well, I need to find another anodyne. You promised me you'd be my anodyne. I need to find another anodyne.
Hey, this is Don Smith from the Life Radio Show. Do you like telling jokes? Are you the class clown? Do your friends always tell you you're funny? You want to prove them wrong? Well, nearly every Sunday, Wiley's Comedy Club at 101 Pine Street in Dayton's Oregon District brings you Wiley's Sunday Comics. You can be the one on stage making people laugh. Or not. All you have to do is send an email to WileySundayComics@gmail.com and follow the instructions in the reply email, and you can tell jokes at Ohio's oldest comedy club.
Today we're teaching poodles how to fly. Come here, Foofy. Ah, Foofy. Are you psyched? Are you ready? Okay. Here we go. Get ready and fly! Oh, man.
All right. All right. Welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I love that soundbite. That's one of my favorites.
That's a funny one.
From, what was it, UHF with
Oh, I love
Weird
that
Al?
movie.
Oh,
You ever
great.
see UHF?
Yeah.
Great
Oh,
movie.
I love that one.
Fantastic.
That's a
You say you haven't seen that one?
No, I have.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
was going to say, because that's a classic.
I mean,
Everybody's gotta see.
Weird Al's in it, so
Yeah.
of course I have.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay.
He's obsessed with Weird Al. You don't know that?
That was some of my first albums that I actually bought with my own money. Were Weird Al albums.
Oh, cool.
Someone
Good
gave
deal,
me a
good
Vanilla
deal.
Ice and a New Kids on the Block, and I was like, "Oh, I guess I
Yeah,
should
these
like
guys are
this."
singing the wrong words.
Exactly. I knew all my songs from Weird Al, and I'd be like, "This is weird. Like,
This isn't funny
this
at
isn't
all.
about food."
One of my
Speaking of food, I have to show you guys Patrick's Little White Bananas. This was my prize. It's a little disappointing.
turn off the lights.
Turn off the lights in the studio, Patrick. We got to take a good look at your banana in its natural setting. Look at that little white glowing banana. And that's not what I expected, to be honest with you.
Chiquita Mockingbird.
Yeah, it's not even big enough for a proper hammock. So
those were grown at Chernobyl.
Where does one
bananas.
keep the lighted bananas?
It's a white Russian.
A white Russian.
All right, I'm going to turn your banana off. That way we don't want to run the battery out. Hey, welcome.
Yeah.
Exactly. Welcome back to the Life Radio Show. I'm your host, Don Smith. That was Patrick Bananas. My guest co-host is in, Holly Shock, still here.
Loving you has made me bananas.
Good segue into Dan Andrick being our first guest in the show today.
Yay!
And our second guest has been in for the whole show.
Our
too.
first second guest.
First second guest. Adrian Miller's still with us.
Your guess is as good as mine.
They're both my guests, Holly.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah, so that's why. Well, they're our guests. You're the guest co-host.
co-host.
They're your step guests.
I'm a co-host. Oh, I'm the evil stepbrother.
Yeah.
I'm the evil step co-host.
You say coho.
Co-host.
Coho. What's that? Oh, okay.
Oh.
No.
You guys know why I take Patrick's microphone now. Every now and then.
Yes. Yes, we see why that was the first thing you did.
Yeah. Because there weren't enough, and we had all the guests in here already. So
you're defending your own actions now.
No.
Okay. I got confused.
Because you'll notice I turned the camera around too. Because Patrick,
I can't see that.
He's the silent partner today in the show. He does all the work, and we have all the fun.
He's your guardian angle.
Actually,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm on that show Home Improvement talking to you because all I see is the Wilson view of you. It's just eyes and forehead only. So
I don't think so.
I don't. Yeah. You're like the wise neighbor talking to me over here. That's what I feel like.
Exactly.
So
yeah, you'll never see the rest of them. Just from here on up. That's really all that's all I am.
No. Okay.
No.
Well, that's good.
Should we hit some news stories?
Yeah.
Are we ready for this?
Woo, sure, why not?
'Cause most of these I don't even know what they are. They're probably pretty dumb.
All right, how about this up my alley?
All right. A German city that's the subject of a long-running joke alleging that it doesn't exist is offering $1.1 million reward to anyone who can prove the conspiracy theory is true. The mayor of Bielefeld said the 800-year-old city will award the cash to anyone who can present convincing evidence that the city does not exist. Jokes about Bielefeld being fictional became prominent on the internet after computer science student Achim Held posted the claim online in 1994 as a means of satirizing far-fetched conspiracy theories. We are excited about the creative submissions and are 99.99% sure that we will be able to refute any claims, said Martin Nabenreich. That's Nabenreich.
Yeah.
Head of marketing for the city. That he's trying.
Was it the Naben Third Reich? Or just...
I think, yeah.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah, most of them were knobs.
Yeah. And Achim, how German can you get?
Yeah,
Good German name.
Yeah, in Bielefeld.
Bielefeld.
I guess that's how you. That
That's
sounds
how you
like a good way to pronounce it.
That's Bell Fountain in German.
Right. Right. And we all know that we don't want that to exist either.
No.
No.
Yeah, so, any thoughts on Bielefeld and its existence? Do we want to try to get some of this $1.1 million by proving that this city doesn't exist? I think that's the main reason I put it on there as a challenge to our listeners.
Yeah.
All
do any
handful
of
of
us
them.
really exist?
What's that? Do my listeners really exist? Is that what you're
No,
asking?
do any of us really exist? I mean, it's just, how existential do they want to get about this?
Wow.
Am I real?
Probably not. Yeah. But if you, can we prove that? Can we prove that you don't exist?
Can you prove I do exist?
Well, I happen to know your ex-wife.
Oh. Good night, everybody. Try the meal.
And she wishes you didn't exist, I think.
As a practical point.
That was wrong, wasn't it?
No, not
That's
at
okay.
all. Because it's
I'll
accurate.
introduce you to one of my ex-wives.
No.
They probably feel the same way about me.
No, my ex-wife totally wishes that I didn't exist.
Aww.
It's okay.
Aww.
She went back to where her kind belongs, Florida.
There you go. That's
She's 66 years old.
I was thinking more like if
He
you
was-
Google your birthday,
Yeah.
and there's always some crazy man in Florida that did some ridiculous thing
Oh,
on your
yeah.
birthday.
Oh yeah, absolutely. I have several Florida stories in these news reports.
I mean,
So, yeah, we'll
I'm,
get to
I'm
some.
full of news stories, man.
Yeah.
I got you there. Let's rip
Okay,
down the
okay. Well,
line.
if you have some that I miss, if any of them manage to fall through the cracks,
Did you
be
hear
sure to
about
spit
the
it
guy
out.
that was leaving TVs on people's porches?
Yes, we were talked about that a couple weeks ago. See, I got a lot of them too.
Okay, man. What's your next one?
What's my next one?
Yeah.
Oh, could you technically make the town not exist and then get the money?
Yeah, could we
Ooh.
burn
Yeah,
down
because
the
that's
records
the whole
office?
trick. Is
Yes.
you prove the town doesn't exist, they don't have to pay anything.
I feel like a
'cause they're not
heist is
there.
brewing. We go into the records office where the incorporation documents lie from however long ago. This might go full
Define
national treasure.
lie.
Yeah.
No.
Well, like it might be it's 800 years, right? So who knows? Like we might have to like go to like some secret, I don't know, like cathedral basement or something, and have to like
Some
crack
bomb
a
shelter.
code.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
bomb.
No,
who
we
knows?
only have to
And then we
erase
have to
from
get
like
it, and
93
we tear it
forward.
up, set it on fire, and then we're like,
There have
prove
been
that you
two
exist.
world wars
town
through
in Germany.
Yeah, that they could have. Anything could have happened to those records from 800
Yeah.
years
Yeah.
ago. Yeah.
I just was
You could be
wondering-
like, you get pedantic about it. You could be like, yeah, but 800 years ago, what were you incorporated as? It could be a slightly different spelling, dialect,
right,
name,
right.
and you're like, well, technically. And then they would escort you out of town. But
Right,
you know,
and you wouldn't get anything
yeah,
anyway. 'cause
people
they'd
throw
still-
like
yeah.
fine loggers at you probably, and
Lederhosen. Use Lederhosen.
Ugh.
you'd be like, thank you,
Donka.
Duncan Jane.
Dismissed.
All right, a visitor to a Florida amusement park captured video the moment a bungee cable snapped on a slingshot ride just as it was about to launch with passengers. Chrissy Hurst of Havana said she was filming while a friend and his brother-in-law, who was visiting from California, were about to ride the vertical accelerator at Cobra Adventure Park in Panama City
Someone,
Beach.
wait. So it's Cobra Adventure Park, but the name of the ride, it's like someone fell asleep on the naming.
Yeah,
They're
vertical
like,
accelerator.
Vertical accelerator.
Fast. Can we name it
faster.
faster? How about vertical accelerator? That's too big a word, Bobby. Nobody will get it.
Where I got a name with too many vowels in it in Panama.
Of course,
Too many things.
Cobra is the mortal enemy of G.I. Joe. So
Exactly. In this
that could be-
Cobra amusement park.
Why would they
that
go for
might
a
have
snake
been,
name?
yeah.
I don't understand.
yeah.
Like you already the Cobra, and they're like, nah, just vertical accelerator.
Yeah.
Ironically,
What?
when the band broke, it sent her back to Havana.
Smartest car.
Hearst video captured the moment the cords holding the ride shredded into pieces. The two men were removed from the ride probably pretty quickly. They are completely freaked out still, Hearst told WTVT-TV. WTVT-TV.
What the-
TV.
what was-
That is,
okay.
Yeah, that is a,
TV.
what is TV? What do we want to call it? WTVT.
Transvestite.
Wait. yeah, it's Florida Transvestite Television.
We're back to our Dragathon.
Oh,
Yep, you watching the drag race?
Dungeons and Dragathon, yes.
I don't know. I'm riding the
Ooh.
vertical accelerator.
I wonder if that's a podcast. That could be.
What's that?
Dungeons and Dragathon.
Can you imagine how amazing that would be if you just had drag queens and
Playing
they're
Dungeons
just
and
playing
Dragons.
Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
It'd be like so many
Dungeons
layers
and
to
Drag.
it.
That's right.
the most well-dressed Dungeons and Dragon game ever.
100%. 100%.
Yeah, I mean that's
Probably
bringing
the sexiest
glamour.
one
That,
by
yeah,
far.
yeah, that's going Justin Timberlake to it. Bringing the sexy back to Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah.
Did it ever leave?
Can you imagine the costumes and wigs? It would be insane.
It would.
Be, oh, you'd have to do a live stream too.
Oh,
You'd
gosh, yeah.
have to.
That'd be an
I think
extravaganza.
we need to make this happen.
Yes.
Dungeons and
Yes.
I'm game, you know that.
Yeah.
Gamey, too, but game.
Yeah,
Oh, and they're going to get that ride to the Ohio State Fair next year.
oh, the vertical,
vertical
accelerator.
accelerator.
Yeah.
It's scary because that ride is like everywhere, and you keep seeing and hearing all these like accidents with it, and you're just
Oh, yeah.
like,
My neck cracks.
You're like, how could it be a bad idea to put people in a little capsule and attach it with bungee cords?
Yeah, that's perfectly.
And
I'm
just pull
okay
up
with
see what the
tension and
problem
just
is.
see what happens.
I'm against the seatbelts. Okay, that's my problem.
You can never make it to Havana. I mean, that's
that
really
needs
what
to
you
be
want to know
half
is
of it,
how
where
far can
when the
we
bungees
fly?
actually do operate correctly,
Yeah.
that you slam into the front of the capsule and then you slam into the back. That's
I like
that's
her
perfect.
idea. That way, 3/4 mile away, we have like a giant 500-foot trampoline that can go boink. And
Yeah.
then boom.
It could have like a bullseye in it, and you get like a
Yeah.
special prize
There
if
you
you
go.
hit the center. You know,
They would,
Yes.
they would have to sign a rider.
obviously,
And
obviously, it would
And
not
a
be
waiver?
insured.
And
a
a
waiver,
waiver.
a rider,
A wave rider.
and insurance that'll be written
They
out
should
to
just
us.
have them sign
Yeah.
off on a wave runner. That way, when they die, you get it.
Wave
It's
running
yours.
with
I like that.
Yeah.
I think it's a perfect plan to cash in that insurance money. I like
Yeah.
Holly's
Yeah.
idea. Yeah.
Yeah.
We take an insurance policy on every single person who rides it.
Newlyweds
We
get
can
half
only
off.
profit, guys. We can only profit.
I did it up at Traverse City, out by the Dune Park. There was actually a luge, only you rode in with a car. It was concrete, like a
Oh,
half tunnel. And it went
Yes.
up, and it went down the mountainside. You can go 500 miles an hour, but on the top, you had to sign this thing. In case you die, we're not responsible. I go,
Yeah.
okay. You know.
See,
you
I
ride it.
think we're actually overlooking the saddest part of this story. Is the bungee cord snapped and slung her back to Havana in like seconds. It took her months getting on it over here on a raft.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
That's true.
Oh,
That is wrong. I'm going to hell. A Florida surfer who flew into the air off his last wave of the day, unfortunately landed on top of a 6-foot-plus shark. The shark bit 4 fingers of his left hand and his left calf and shin. The encounter at New Smyrna Beach on Florida's central east coast Tuesday was terrifying, but the injuries weren't life-threatening. I never really tried to throw an air, but I tried to throw one, said chiropractor Donald Wash. 40.
of course he's a chiropractor.
Didn't land it. Landed on a shark instead. He decided to take a bite out of me.
Wow.
Pretty calm about that.
I think anybody would take a bite out of someone that landed on them at 500 miles an hour.
Exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
Chicken fingers. That's.
Am I the only one that feels bad for the shark in this?
You had to go to a
Well, yeah,
chiropractor.
That's a
I
surprise
agree.
attack out of nowhere.
Yeah.
And they didn't. I'm sure they didn't check to make sure the shark was okay.
Well, no, and the shark had to taste all that White Claw when he bit that dude, too. So, I mean, my gosh, that
That's
stuff's
true.
terrible.
Yeah, oh man, makes flesh taste
Ugh.
terrible. Yeah, that I could see that. I could see.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was, and the national ocean news underwater. A shark attacks a man. A man attacks shark. Man
Yeah.
attacks shark.
Yeah.
Again,
Yeah.
another man. Shark
I mean,
attack.
if I'm just minding my own business, eating some food,
Eat the
Right.
and a man, a full-grown man, just lands on my head.
Yeah, bite him.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bite his fingers and his shin and his calf. That's
Yes.
Exactly.
Full-grown
Yeah.
man land
I mean,
on
if
my
he
head.
doesn't move fast enough.
Yep.
People
Gotta do
need
what
to
you
stop
gotta do.
attacking sharks.
Exactly.
Right. And disguising it as it's a surf attack.
Yeah. That's what
'Cause
they want you to
He
believe.
flew up into the air and he lunged toward that.
It was
shark.
a
He
hate
knew
crime.
exactly-
It was a hate crime.
Yeah, he knew exactly what
He
he
knew
was
what
doing.
he was doing.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly. His bungee cord snapped.
Yeah.
Sometimes when your bungee cord snaps, you're gonna land on a shark. That's
Yeah.
Gonna
ask
happen.
Fonzie.
Oh, yeah.
He jumped it. He jumped the shark. He knows.
The original.
Yeah, that's when the
he's no
amusement
Fonzie.
park really starts to go downhill. You just have to jump. You all right over there, Holly?
Oh, I'm fine.
Okay.
I'm thinking about a man laying on my head.
It would.
Oh, well, the spit take.
You mean Holly landing on your head would give you a panic attack, or you landing on hers?
No,
Oh,
man
okay,
landing.
okay.
That sounds
Man
like
landing.
the mood.
Yeah. Yep, we're here to film
One
another
small
man
man
landing.
for man.
Yeah, it's one small shark for man.
Tomorrow's shark for Jan. Man.
One giant bungee to Havana. Oh, the streets of Buñol that just in eastern Spain were paved with pulp after the annual La Tomatina festival on Wednesday. This year's hour-long food fight saw around 22,000 people throwing 145 tons of ripe tomatoes at each other. Many participants ended up seeing red, literally. The festival, which takes place on the last Wednesday of August, dates back to 1945 when a tomato-tossing brawl, not brawl, reportedly broke out during a parade. Stop trying to toss your tomatoes.
Slingshot right back around, didn't we?
Yeah, but that's what we just keep going back to the same old slingshots. That's what
strapping these jokes in.
Yep. Exactly. It's very uplifting. Yeah, 22,000 people throwing 145 tons of ripe tomatoes. That just does not sound like anywhere I would want to be.
In hindsight,
Oh.
Yeah, it should have been 57,000.
Yeah. Let's let everybody catch up to that joke.
hey.
Yep.
What's the other ketchup? There's Heinz.
they have mayo chup now, which I think that they need to start drug testing at Heinz immediately.
Oh, yeah.
Because
I mean,
they
how
let
easy
some
is it?
stone dude get in
There we go.
charge of marketing.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, they goes for you, and you don't have to yourself.
Well, I like to occasionally, especially if I'm. You know. The FCC's probably going, there's got to be something wrong with that.
Well, we edited ourselves out with the and the. So yeah, they.
Oh, who was that comedian back in the 40s and 50s used to do?
Charlie Callis.
Charlie Callis. Oh my
Yeah.
God! You ever hear that?
No.
Yeah,
His whole
No,
routines are
that's
just-
more Jerry
that-
Lewis.
that
that's
was-
Jerry Lewis over
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
Jerry Lewis.
And the
Yeah,
Playboys.
Gary Lewis?
Gary Lewis?
Gary Lewis
and the
his cousin?
Playboys. Yep, Gary Lewis and the Playboys.
And then
No,
there's that David
no.
Shandling and
Shandling's
Arnold
List.
Seinfeld, all kinds
Yeah.
of comics that we don't mention anymore. The Great Smoky Mountains National Park this week celebrated the efforts of one of its smaller residents, a dung beetle that specializes in moving balls of poop around the park. Visitors to why not? Visitors to the park may have noticed what appeared to be a scurrying scat moving almost by itself, but a closer inspection, if you really care to
Yes.
look at poop that much closer, would reveal the work of the tumblebug, protecting its future generation by burying them where no one would look, inside poop. The female tumblebug will lay an egg in one ball of dung, allowing the developing larvae to have all the resources they need without having to compete with their siblings. Yeah.
Well, I knew they had some budget cuts, okay, in national parks.
wow.
But,
Yeah, that's-
wow.
That's their new
That's their cleanup crew
draw.
now.
That's the new that's
Beware of rolling.
This is the crappiest story I've ever heard out of your mouth.
yes. Then just to make sure the baby bugs are safe, those balls of poop get rolled off
Oh.
because you don't want to leave them in the same place.
A dung beetle is technically the strongest creature in existence on the earth for its size because it says it can move 5,000 times its weight
In poop.
in poop.
Yeah.
Now, if they had a slingshot or something, yeah.
Yeah, if they had a tomato slinging brawl.
So if you're in the Smoky Mountains and you see a sign with a mountain with a giant ball rolling with a little insect down, you have to look out to make sure you're not getting hit by a
That's
dung
true.
beetle
You don't
roll.
want them rolling up at the top of the hill like
No.
that, not up at the top of the mountain, because that could just
Those poor babies. Whoa, whoa,
have the
whoa.
poop ball effect. Just keep
Crazy
growing
old
as
dung
it
beetle
rolls
babies.
down. Yeah, the tumbleweed poop bowl. I think that's
Mom, we're eating the same bowl.
I think
every
that's
day.
a new college football bowl game, isn't it? It's time for the tumbleweed poop bowl.
Wow.
The Tennessee State's playing in the tumbleweed poop bowl this year.
And halftime tribute to corn.
Roll
to corn.
Tide. That's what,
Halftime
Roll
tribute to
Tide. Huh?
Corn.
what's that?
The band Corn to be playing the halftime. Yeah.
That would be nuts.
Better than Chuck Mangione.
Corn and the bung beetles, 2 bits.
No, he's living inside a Walmart, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Dang it, Dale, you got to get him to move.
Oh, bravo, I like that one.
Talk about dang on, that's a good impression, man. I like dang on like that, man.
I'll tell you what, man. Megalomart's where you get all your goods.
A bull jumped a 7-foot fence at a farm auction house in Ontario and managed to avoid being captured by authorities and members of the public. The young bull jumped the fence before it was due to be auctioned Thursday at the Ottawa Livestock Exchange and took off running. Ottawa resident Ken Tasker, who has farming experience, spotted the 600-pound bull and said, "Yep, that's a bull. Farming experience." Spotted the 600-pound bull charging through the area and pursued it in an attempt to corner the animal. Tasker said he gave up the chase when the bull appeared aggressive, which is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
It's a 600-pound bull that's running and charging. It's probably going to be a little aggressive. Ottawa police said traffic officers attempted to locate the bull Thursday afternoon, but it had apparently left the area. There was no bull. Police asked anyone who spots the wandering bovine. Isn't that a band?
Wandering bovine.
The wandering
Sounds
bovine.
like a band.
Yeah, it should be.
It
if
should
it's not. Told anyone who spots the wandering bovine not to approach it and instead to call 911.
He's probably wearing a trench coat and everything now. And,
Yeah,
you
he's
know,
got a fake mustache. Yeah.
and flying over to Spain for that run.
Right, yeah. Yes, I'm going to run with the rest of them. And that's where he was heading to anyway. Yeah, that's. Yeah.
Bovine. Wasn't that Jethro's last name? Jethro Bovine? No.
Yeah, Jethro Bovine. That's
I guess if it ends up in the Smoky Mountains, then people now have to deal with some real.
yeah. And now we got it. What's the
Sorry.
time?
Sorry.
I was.
50-23. All right, man.
Yes,
You know,
it wasn't me.
You can say balls, but you can't say
Right.
poo poo caca.
Poop.
What if I say bull sheets?
Yeah, ball sheets. Ball sheets. That's-
You can buy those right there in
could just use bull
with the
poo.
laundry,
Yeah.
right next to the fabric
I guess
softener.
bull
just
crap,
balls.
right?
Well, yeah,
That's
as much as we were talking about dung
Bull crap
on this,
is what
I mean,
people
we
say
could.
Bull
instead.
crap, yeah.
That's the safe for radio.
We'll just say dung beetle.
Dung beetle, yes.
I don't
What
give a
bunch
dung
of
beetle
bull,
about that.
bull dung beetles.
Bull dung beetles.
That's
Bull
what, is that
Durham,
what you call
bull
them?
dung
Yeah.
beetles,
Bull
yes.
dung.
Bull dung.
Bull dung
Bull
beetle
dung.
Durham.
Did you say bull dung beetle bear?
Yeah.
That's we're getting needlessly tongue twisted. A mouse appears to dive headfirst into a deep fryer at a Whataburger restaurant
Whoa.
in Bastrop, Texas, in a scene caught on video by a customer and posted online. Brushawn Lewis published the footage to Facebook early on Sunday. It shows restaurant staff trying to catch the mouse as it scampers across the counter before it launches itself right into the fryer, to the immense shock of staff and onlookers. Who else needs a refund? One person could be heard asking on the video. The post hit 1.4 million views in less than 24 hours and was shared more than 50,000 times. The company said the restaurant in question had no history of, quote, this type incident. Because,
The last words heard before the mouse said before he jumped in, I can't stand meat anymore.
I'm out of here. Huh?
Take that, Orlando.
Weren't we talking about this looking like
Well, you look
like a Mickey Mouse hand? Huh?
You look like a Dairy Queen Wolverine.
Dairy Queen Wolverine. Man, I love this show. God, I hate this thing. So what? No. Is that all we got on the mouse? Just Mickey was suicidal, which I don't blame him. It's been a rough time. He's had to work at Whataburger.
I'm gonna have to watch that video.
You want fries on that?
I just can't.
I'm just thinking real estate here because I mean, look, different part of the world, they probably would have made them charge extra for fresh mouse. Okay,
That's true.
Yeah.
That's true.
look,
Yeah, that's all in location.
Yeah,
location.
KFM.
One place it's a
Kentucky
disaster.
Fried Mouse. If you season it right, it's fine.
That's true. I bet you.
13 herbs and spices makes anything taste good.
Yeah, smoke the heck out of it and a barbecue, and you got it.
Oh, the mouse. Yeah. Smoke the mouse. That's one.
Oh yeah.
No, we fried it.
Yeah. Well, you got fried.
Well, you got
smoke
fried.
it, Yeah.
Can't fry and smoke.
On the water.
You can smoke then eat fries, but not the other way.
Exactly. Do you have any shows coming up, Dan?
I
We're going to
do.
go ahead and take a break from the news. We're going to get on to we're going to see what shows you have coming up, and then we're going to kick you the hell out of here.
That's good because I have a show
Because
coming up.
you have a show. You're going to be at Paradise Lounge this evening, correct?
Yeah, in about an hour, I'll be at
In
Paradise
about an hour,
Lounge.
yeah.
That's
Thank
supposed
you.
to be a good place.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's over on that's on Needmore, right
Needmore
by the casino. Yeah.
Yes, so lots of bad choices in that area to make.
Oh,
tonight.
absolutely. You can go see Dan,
Yeah,
or you can make the right choice and go to the casino.
Oh,
Just kidding, Dan. We love you. But no, it's a fun show. I did that once, I think, and when I walked in, nobody knew there was a comedy show. But it has, from what I've heard, the attendance has gotten much better there, which is good. It's run by Damon Darling,
yes.
who's been on the show a number of times. Damon's a good dude.
Yep.
Runs a lot of shows. So
Then
Starts at 9?
yes,
that
starts at 9
o'clock tonight.
and then the 13th, I'm on the 7 Deadlies show at Wiley's, 8 o'clock.
Oh, yeah.
So,
That'll be good.
Yeah, that's Friday the
It's a
13th.
Friday the
Yes,
13th
yes.
show, yes.
And that's run as kind of a contest to see who gets on the next most offensive show on
It
Earth.
is.
Yeah.
It is. So if you happen to come down to that show because you hear me, make sure you let them know that you're here because of Dan, because it plays to my favor for that contest, and I'll shamelessly do this right now and promote myself for that.
Oh, no, that's
Exactly.
cool.
exactly.
And the
There's nothing
15th,
wrong with shameless promotion.
no, and the 15th is actually, I figured out, was the 1 year since I'd first come to Wiley's and done my first night of stand-up, so I'm also on the Sunday Night Comics on the 15th. So,
As your 1 year anniversary?
yes, so I mean,
awesome.
2 shows
Yeah.
at Wiley's, 1 weekend, the first year away, and so I'm just
Yeah, neither of them paid. which
stoked
is
about
fine.
that. Exactly. Why would I get paid?
It's okay. I host weekends there and don't get paid.
Yeah, there's a lot of things you do there that you don't get paid for,
Most of the things I do there, I
but
don't
you
get
get paid in laughter and love.
and that's what's really important.
It is.
Because I try to pay my bills the same way. I go into the bank and I laugh at them, and they laugh at me, and I love it. And
Yeah, just DP&L doesn't want hugs for their bill every month. I try.
it depends. It depends on who's working that day. I mean, they won't mark anything off as paid, but some of them will take your hugs, and they get a little gropey actually.
Yeah, some will take trade. That's what I heard.
Yeah. Well, Dan, I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming in.
Oh, I thank you for having
have
me.
fun at the Paradise Lounge this evening.
I shall.
And if anybody, it starts at 9, so
Starts
you can,
at 9,
you
yep.
can finish listening to this show on the way there,
Exactly.
and still catch Dan and Damon. And who else? Do we know who else is on the line?
Joe Young's on that show
Joe
as well.
Young?
Kevin Rupert is on that show
Rupert
as
is
well.
another
and,
show favorite.
Christian Collier is on that show as well.
Clothier.
Okay, so I can't really read. I know the guy's name
Well,
on
I know
Facebook.
that.
Or
Yeah.
spell.
Yep.
We'll just say Christian Bale.
Right. Yeah. That.
Yeah,
well,
definitely. I'll say Christian Bale is going to be there. I'm sure that won't affect anybody's judgment on coming.
Yeah,
I
would
have
go.
Batman on this comedy
Yeah,
show.
Batman's
with me.
good. The asthmatic Batman. That's
Asthmatic,
yeah.
Yeah.
Christian Bale's Batman.
Why are you doing this?
Which is a bold choice, to have a superhero with that disability.
That would be a hard show to listen to. Batman and Bane together doing comedy routines. What'd he say?
Oh, I understand you want to tell jokes.
Stay there 10 minutes. Do stuff like that.
All right, we're going to go ahead and take our top of the hour break. We're going to kick Dan out and usher him off to paradise.
We
Sounds
got the
so
slide
bad.
back here.
Yeah,
What do you call it?
Got the vertical accelerator ready?
Hopefully
We'll
you
get you there
don't
in
miss
time.
and go straight back to
We'll
Havana.
get you in time there, Marty McFly. Great Scott.
All right, Patrick, take us the hell out of here. We'll be back here shortly on the Life Radio Show. Stick around.
Thanks for listening to the Life Radio Show podcast. Check it out wherever you listen to podcasts. Remember, if you want to listen live, we are on Tuesdays from 7 to 9 p.m. on WWSU 106.9 FM. You can also stream the show live at WWSU1069.org, and we go Facebook Live at the Life Radio Show's Facebook page. If you have suggestions or comments, feel free to email thelife1069@gmail.com.
Presence overwhelms me. The brutal presence overwhelms me.